From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
We'll hear from leaders of rural Montana counties about a new lawsuit they hope will lead to more funding to fix their roads.
We're not going to stop fighting for it. We hope that the lawsuit compels the right action.
Plus, despite the giant sinkhole, Gable Road in Billings could be reopening very soon.
We can get it replaced in a timely manner.
And we'll catch up with a fishtail hero doing super work in her community. Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning on this Tuesday, June 13th. I'm Augusta McDonald. Lots to get to, but first, happening today, former President Donald Trump will be inside a Florida federal courtroom for his second arraignment in 3 months. This time, he's facing more than 36 charges alleging he mishandled sensitive materials. Trump continues to deny any wrongdoing. As CBS's Christian Benavides reports, Miami officials are preparing for the historic court appearance and planned protests.
In a matter of hours, former President Trump will be arraigned at a federal courthouse in Miami. He has said he will plead not guilty to 37 felony counts, all stemming from his alleged mishandling of sensitive materials after leaving office.
I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person.
Prosecutors claim some of the documents contained information on U.S. nuclear weapons programs and military secrets of both the U.S. and foreign countries.
The total volume and the scope and the sensitivity of this material is an intelligence catastrophe waiting to happen.
Yesterday, the former president traveled from New Jersey to his resort in Doral, Florida, where his supporters and some counter-protesters gathered outside.
It feels a bit like a witch hunt to me.
Enough is enough. He needs to pay.
Protests are expected today outside of the Miami courthouse. So far, local law enforcement says it is not aware of any credible threats.
We're bringing enough resources to handle crowd anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000. We don't expect any issues.
Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith also arrived in Miami last night. After his arraignment, Trump plans to head back to his Bedminster, New Jersey golf club, where he'll give remarks and hold a fundraiser. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Trump's former White House valet and aide, Walt Nauta, was also charged as a co-conspirator in the indictment. Back here in Billings, City Council is making sure the Gable Road sinkhole gets fixed as quickly as possible. Members passed an emergency resolution last night to skip the normal 2-month-long bidding process and allocate $500,000 to fund that project immediately.
If we hire an engineer and go through all the standard advertising periods, that time even to get the pipe is very extended. So this allows us some flexibility to kind of start ordering pipe, work on the design at the same time, work on the fix at the same time to where we can get it replaced in a timely manner.
Leaders say the temporary repairs should allow Gable Road to open in a week or less, though more work could cause delays in the future. Good morning, Ed. We've had a lot of flood damage here in recent weeks, and obviously a big project is still not completed.
That's for sure. Yeah, we start getting rains that are 4, 5.5 inches of rain in some cases. The good news is we're starting to see a shift from that. The bad news is we're shifting into a pattern where wind and hail involved with thunderstorms will be a bigger concern rather than heavy rain all the time. 55 right now. It's a beautiful shot with the Stockman Bank weather cam. Regionally, we have temperatures that are in the 50s, already getting a little more active into the mountain foothills around Red Lodge. That'll be the story through the afternoon. We'll break more of that down for you in the next short while. But for today in Billings, expect a high near 80 despite a few clouds in the afternoon.
All right, Ed, thank you so much. More to come from Ed McIntosh. And now a reminder for Billings kids and their parents, you can get free breakfast and lunch at 6 local parks Monday through Friday. School District 2's summer lunch program is up and running this week and continues until the end of the school year, until the start of the school year. Anyone is welcome to attend, but it's especially important for students who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Here in Billings, the number of kids served in food insecurity programs is up 30% since November.
We have those kids where they don't have food at home. They can hopefully walk over here safely and eat at least a lunch. Adults can come eat for $5. They can bring their grandkids.
Organizers want more kids to come have lunch and play with their friends as well. You can find the full schedule, including locations, in this story on our website. And we're following an interesting court case out of Helena this morning. Environmental activists are suing the state of Montana for allegedly ignoring a constitutional obligation to a clean and healthful environment by investing in oil and gas. Attorneys for the state argue Montana's emission output is too minimal to contribute to climate change on a grand scale. The judge says even if she sides with the activists, she will not order the state to make any changes to climate policies. However, a ruling in the group's favor could set legal precedent for future decisions to be challenged. The trial started yesterday and is expected to last 10 days. Montana lawmakers are fighting to be able to vote on whether to reverse Governor Greg Gianforte's veto of Senate Bill 442. The legislation would have used marijuana tax money to fix county roads, and it has major bipartisan support. But due to the timing of the veto, lawmakers never were given the chance to consider reversing it. Now the dispute is headed for the courtroom, with Montana counties suing, saying they need the extra funding badly. MTN's Tom Wiley has more.
I just got off this plane after a flight above Ferguson Petroleum counties where we overlooked some rural roads in various states of disrepair. Deteriorating roads can prevent access to recreation areas, disrupt commerce, and lead to infrastructure shortfalls.
Property taxes itself do not come anywhere close to funding a road department. We need the extra money, and I'm sure every county's that way.
From the air, it's easy to see why building and maintaining roads in rural counties is one of the biggest struggles that local governments face year in and year out. Just ask Petroleum County Commissioner Craig Iverson.
There's around 570 miles of road in the county. With a crew of 2, it's hard to get across all of that. What we looked at today, the road is falling apart just because of time and use. We need to crush some gravel to repair some places in some of those roads.
But therein lies the problem.
And there is no money in Petroleum County to crush gravel.
Lack of funding is a major issue. Emergency response on rural roads is another.
In fact, we just had a incident where an individual got stuck or lost or something. I don't remember exactly, but it was on Knox Ridge, and I believe we got 2 emergency service vehicles stuck just trying to get to it.
Senate Bill 442 would have addressed the issue, allocating 20% of the state's marijuana revenue to help counties pay for the building and repair of rural roads. The bill passed with bipartisan support, but Governor Greg Gianforte issued a veto of the bill on the final day of the legislative session, leading to a procedural dispute about whether legislators would be able to override the veto. Both the Montana Wildlife Federation and the Montana Association of Counties have filed suit.
It had wide support. You had organizations from all across the spectrum of ideologies and beliefs and the things that they work on supporting it. So we're not going to stop fighting for it. We hope that the lawsuit compels the right action.
In his letter accompanying the veto, Governor Gianforte called the bill a slippery slope and expressed concern that county governments would use that extra state money in their budgets as an excuse to fund capricious and unnecessary projects. County commissioners say that's not the reality of their jobs.
Yeah, I'm going to say we don't have any fluff in our budgets because normally we, it takes every bit that we put in there to maintain what we have. That all goes in is still a struggle to try and meet the needs that we have to put out to take care of.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
Thank you, Tom. It's Elder Abuse Awareness Week. According to the Montana Attorney General's office, more than 369,000 seniors were victims of financial elder abuse. Raising awareness about the issue can help potential victims avoid those scams. That involves alerting potential victims to the types of scams and when not to give out information. Isolation can be a problem and make people more vulnerable. Some in the community have more contact with seniors and can help prevent financial elder abuse.
There are certain people that are in a position to have a serious impact, and that's folks in banking, the medical industry, financial advisors. They're dealing with people on a regular basis. That's a population that really, the more they know, the more impact they can have on reducing that particular type of elder abuse.
Attorney General Austin Knudsen will join us on Friday right here on Montana This Morning, talking about initiatives that will help seniors avoid financial scams. New this morning, a boat carrying hospitality workers capsized during a tour of a historic underground cavern system in upstate New York, killing one person who became trapped beneath that overturned vessel. All 29 people on board the flat-bottomed boat were thrown into water between 5 and 6 feet deep when the craft tipped over toward the end of the route. While some passengers were able to get to safety on their own, rescue crews using an inflatable boat rescued about 16 others. Other national headlines this morning, authorities in Pennsylvania are working to identify remains recovered in the wreckage from the Interstate 95 bridge collapse. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is expected in Philadelphia today to see the damage. Over the weekend, an overpass collapsed after a tanker truck carrying 8,500 gallons of fuel exploded. And before we take a break, we have a new fun series launching right here at Q2 called Super Seniors. Stories about folks who are working, volunteering, competing, or just making a difference in their communities. And they have been for a long time. First up, Q2's Russ Riesinger heads to Fishtail, where a woman came out of retirement more than 20 years ago to keep an iconic general store up and running.
It's a place that has been part of the landscape here in Fishtail for well over a century.
Not a lot of general stores like this one, no.
This old store has stood the test of time, selling, as the sign says, a little bit of everything since 1900. It's a place Levi Finkston has been coming to since his earliest memories.
Especially in the little town of Fishtail, I think you can find just about everything you need here.
Just about anything you need, a little bit of everything. It's where you will also find Katie Martin.
General store, this is Katie, can I help you?
Anytime you come in, she's always got a friendly face. You can find her either behind the counter or in the bakery, in the deli, always making it a friendly spot, always gonna say hi to you.
Way to go. Thanks, Jacob, I appreciate that. Let me know your opinion, and what I would do is I would bring one out and taste them both at the same time. Not the same time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
okay.
Try one, compare.
Lex, are you feeling any better? Where are you, babe?
Okay, thanks, guys.
Katie first found herself in Fishtail back in the mid-90s after she and her late husband both retired and moved to Montana.
And looked at each other and said, this is it. That's how we ended up here.
But their retirement didn't last long. 2003, Fishtail General came up for sale. The old store was fading fast at the time.
And it's just something that needs to keep this town going. And Bill and I didn't want it to go away. We really loved the store. I mean, it had a historical value, and we knew absolutely nothing about retail. Zip. So it was quite the experience. But it grew, and you know, if you have good quality, people are willing to come and see that. Plus, the ambiance is amazing.
It's a throwback in many ways to a vanishing piece of Montana history, the old general store, a place to get needed supplies and maybe also catch up on the latest goings-on.
It's the best butt warmer around. These are pictures of the store from about 1910 to about 1970. It's really designed to be kind of like a chamber of commerce and a place where if people need help, we can give it to them.
This old store is popular for a lot of reasons, and Katie, well, she's definitely one of them.
She definitely feels like she knows everybody. If she doesn't know you, she'll make you feel that way.
I feel very, very blessed to be able to live here and work here.
In Fishtail, Russ Riesinger, MTN News.
Thank you, Russ. If you would like to nominate a Super Senior, just head to ktvq.com and click on the Super Seniors tab at the top of the page.